have to smile at the camera. Okay, so we are still in Genesis, and today we're going to be talking about a man named Abraham. And Abraham and his wife Sarah. And God had promised them that they would have a son. But it seemed impossible because Abraham and Sarah were both very old. Abraham, however, believed that God could do what seemed impossible. So after God made his promise, a whole year had passed. Then when Abraham was 100 and Sarah was 90 years old, they had a baby boy named Isaac. Stop making faces. Okay, what was the baby's name?
Isaac.
Don't do that. What was the baby's name?
Isaac.
So God had kept his promise, didn't he? He told him that they were going to have a baby, even though they were older. And they had faith in God, and he kept his promise. But when Isaac grew older, God tested Abraham's faith. And he called Abraham, and Abraham answered, "Here I am." And God said, "Take your son, your only son Isaac, and go to a mountain that I will show you." What?
Who died for us? God?
Jesus.
Oh.
Okay, listen to this story, okay? Take your only son Isaac and go up to a mountain that I will show you, and offer him up as a sacrifice. Stop.
Why? You have to do that.
No, it's too loud. How sad those words made Abraham, because Abraham loved his son very much. And remember, and God had promised that Abraham's children would live in the land of Canaan. But how could that happen if Isaac were dead? Abraham didn't understand, but he still obeyed God. When he got to the mountain, Abraham tied Isaac and put him on the altar that he had built. He then took the knife to kill his son to be the sacrifice. But just at that moment, God's angel called, "Abraham, Abraham." And Abraham answered, "Here I am. Don't hurt the boy or do anything to him," God said. "Now I know that you have faith in me, because you have not held back your son, your only one, from me." So what great faith Abraham had in God. He believed nothing was impossible. And he believed, do you think he wanted to kill his son? No. And he was probably sad, and he really didn't understand. But we don't always understand the things that God wants us or tells us to do. But we should have faith and do it anyway. And he had faith that even if God didn't stop him, he had faith that God would bring him back, bring Isaac back from the dead. But it was really not God's will for Abraham to kill Isaac. So after he told him to stop, he looked up, and God had caused a lamb to get caught in some bushes, and he told Abraham to sacrifice the lamb instead of his son. Stop.
I was trying to pull on that paper.
Okay. But Abraham showed his faith in God. Enough. And we are going to do a experiment, and we're going to see how much faith John has in me. Yep. So, hold on. Don't do that, it's too loud.
Okay.
You get? Okay, stand there. Stand right here. I'm gonna blind.
Oh, God.
I can't. It don't reach.
I'm gonna close my eyes under here because I can see through it.
You can?
A little bit. Kind of. What about me?
Okay, sit in my chair.
Sit in your chair. What's that? Funny.
So, do y'all think it was a little odd that Abraham was so old and yet he was able to have a baby, him and his wife?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what is that in there? That aluminum foil. What is
Hold
it?
on.
Don't say what it is.
Don't say what it is.
I just want to know what it is.
Okay, I can't see anything
No,
anymore.
no,
You can?
no.
No.
Okay. So Abraham was willing to trust God with his whole life. This was the first time, don't say anything. This was the first time God had ever spoken to Abraham that we know of. But yet Abraham, listen, Abraham was still going to obey God's voice. Hold on.
It does not be nasty, John, when you taste it.
So you wouldn't want to eat this then?
No.
Why not? Why?
Is that people food?
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Here, John, I want you to sit up,
Is it people
and I
food?
want you to have faith. Here, give me your hand. Give me your hand.
What is that?
Here. Right here. I want you to have faith that I wouldn't give you something that would hurt you. And I want you to eat.
Which way's the spoon?
That, yep. Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, you're making it.
Pudding.
John, spin.
Oh. Oh my god.
Is that good?
Pudding.
Yeah.
Yeah, said it. It's Stella's.
Where's those?
It's dog food. It's dog food.
Okay, you can go sit down.
If you
Or
would
you
have got
can
a
finish
nut.
eating your.
I'll try it. It has rice in it. I can eat rice.
It says trusting someone is difficult when you don't know what the outcome's going to be, right?
Mom,
So-
that's good stuff. You mean that?
It's good stuff. So Abraham didn't know what the outcome was going to be when he went up on the mountain, did he? He didn't know that God was going to stop him. He didn't know that God was going to provide the lamb for the sacrifice. But he still chose to obey God. And God made him an amazing promise that he would bless the nations through Abraham. And he was faithful to that promise. It was by faith that Abraham obeyed God's call. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. It was by faith that Abraham was made able to become a father. Abraham trusted God to do what he had promised. This man, he was so old, but he trusted God. He is still made a father. But from him came as many descendants as there are stars in the sky. There are as many as grains of the sand on the seashore that cannot be counted. Can you count all the sand on the seashore?
No.
Can you count all the stars in the sky?
No,
When there's only like 3 of them out there.
Well,
but
yeah, I
there's more
guess
than
it- I guess
there's
if
more
it's
than a
99.
billion.
So the next time you're wondering whether you can trust what God is saying or has said, remember how he helped Abraham and keep having faith that he will keep his promises to you too. Like how we have a rainbow hold on, to help us remember to keep God's promises too. So we're going to try to make kind of like a snow globe. Hold on. But we got sand and water. And Jack, do you want to pour water in it?
I want to pour water in it.
When you was giving me that, Jonathan said it's Stella's food.
All of it.
And I was just like,
Yeah.
All of it.
and then I smelled dog food for some reason.
Oh, well, maybe after the sand will have to settle on it.
Mom,
Open it from
Here,
inside
Sean,
and
you can do
pour.
that.
Open it,
Mom.
inside and pour.
it smelled like Stella's dog food for some reason.
Oh, maybe
It
you didn't
smells
wash
like
it.
chocolate to me.
I thought you would smell the chocolate.
No, I smelled dog food, but
I smell chocolate.
I mean, I knew if
Okay, well once that's settled.
Open it.
Listen,
because
I
I'm
knew
on
you
the
wouldn't let me eat dog food.
Yeah.
So
No,
Wait, it has rice in it. It has lamb. Not too bad. Healthy.
Alright, pour some in there.
can I pour some?
So this will be
after?
like a,
Oh,
the glitter's supposed to be like stars.
Mom, give it to me. Ding, give it to me. Can I pour some
we can
in?
keep this as a,
copy.
yeah, let Jack pour some.
Mm,
Like a snug globe as a reminder
Let me-
that just like,
awful.
not in there, John, don't put it in there because it'll get wet. You might have to tap it on this side.
That's enough.
Okay, let Sean do it. It still only come out good, does it?
Mom, what we don't mix it with?
We're not.
We're
It's
just gonna
just,
place it up.
yeah, and then the sand will settle. Well, actually, I don't know. The glitter's just staying on the top anyway, like stars. So that's pretty cool. But hopefully the sand will settle more,
you're eating dog food.
and the water will be clear.